Welcome back to my channel. This is Ben Morales, your personal financial coach. And let me start off by saying Happy New Year, Happy 2025. This is the year where we are going to get out of debt. This is the year where we're going to see some great impact and a great progress in our personal finances. So we've been talking about this All About Line of Credit series. And this is the next video. And what we're going to do today is we're going to actually calculate the interest cost for a line of credit throughout the course of the month. And you're going to see why this is much more efficient in terms of borrowing. I always say it's not how much you borrow, it's how you borrow. How you borrow is more important than the amount that you are being charged for borrowing. So I always say as well, when you go to a bank and you get a loan, you are paying the upfront cost to that loan at the beginning of every single month. When you make that payment, the bank is going to take their portion out first, and then the balance is going to be applied to your principal. This line of credit, any line of credit actually turns that process around, because what happens is now the bank has to wait until the end of the day to get paid. And you can actually impact the amount that of the interest that you're going to be paying throughout the course of that time period by utilizing a line of credit. So we're going to take a look at exactly what that will look like for the month. And we're dealing with January. January has 31 days in it. So let's look at that. And in this scenario, what we're going to do right away is we're going to eliminate debt. And the reason why we're eliminating debt is so that we have an additional cash flow coming in that normally would have gone to the debt, but now it's back into her own economy here. She's going to be actually using it to pay down more quickly and efficiently this line of credit. So when we look at the debt, it's $13,500. And we're also, because it's the beginning of the month, January 1st, rent is due, got to pay an additional $1,500. When we add that up, it's an additional $15,000 that we're going to draw from the line of credit. And let's talk about the line of credit in a moment. But the benefit is we got a monthly income of $3,600. Twice a month she's getting paid, so that's about $1,800 every 2 weeks when she does get paid. Now, the line of credit is $20,000, and it has an interest rate of 9%. However, we're only using $15,000 of that line of credit. $15,000 was what we needed at that particular time of the month in order to pay down the credit card debt and in order to pay the rent as well. So we know that if we follow this formula, what the interest cost is going to be for the month when it comes to that $15,000 line of credit that we drew. Now, we follow the formula, and it tells us that if we do this correctly, right, $15,000 is the balance, 9% is going to be the interest rate. We divide that by 365. That's going to give us our average daily rate. That's important for us to know, because we can know to the cent exactly how much an interest cost we are going to pay based upon the balance that's there. We take that average daily rate, and then we count the number of days that the balance is at that particular dollar amount, and we multiply it to actually figure out what the daily average balance is for that particular dollar amount. And this is what it looks like. So we made these changes, right? We eliminated her debt. Now she's making progress toward paying off that debt. From January 1st to January 9th, that's a total of 9 days. So this one's very easy, because during those course of those 9 days, her expenses was $15,000. We take $15,000 and we divide that, or multiply by the interest rate, which is 9%. So you can do this as you follow along. 15 times 9, you take that number and you divide it by 365, you come out to $3.70. Let me pause there, because if we do this calculation and we're utilizing this formula and we're utilizing the lines of credit in the correct way, we can tell that for this $15,000 at $3.70, which is our average daily rate, we will not pay any more than a certain dollar amount. What is that dollar amount? Well, $3.70 for 31 days in January gives us $114.70. That means that if that balance were to stay at $15,000, that total cost for that month of January would be $114.70. That's how you can know exactly how much interest rate is going to be paid. But that's not going to be the case here, because what's going to happen is, because it's a line of credit and it's a debt tool, you can pay down and then you can withdraw. you can pay down, and you can make withdrawals from it. That's exactly what's happening here. On January 10th, after those first 9 days, she is going to get paid. Now, when she receives that income, that's considered a payment because she will take that income and she will send it. She will not leave it in her checking account. She will send it to the line of credit, which will eliminate a certain portion of that debt. When you're doing this is another pause I want to make just to inform you. As you're looking to make changes and improve your finances this year, some people want to stay with the bank that they've been in forever and ever and ever, even though that bank is not doing anything for them. So you have to make those changes. You have to be willing to do your research and start to establish new relationships at banks. If you can get a line of credit at a credit union or at a bank that can do both for you, they can offer you a checking account, and they can offer you a line of credit, then it becomes super simple to move money back and forth. It becomes super simple to access this cash that we're talking about whenever you need it. And then when she gets her income, you make a payment toward that, and that income is considered a payment. So we deduct $1,800 in income from the $15,000. We get a new balance of $13,200. However, from that same line, we're drawing so that we can pay the light, the cell phone, groceries, and go out to the movies. That's an additional $500 on that particular date. Meaning what? Well, that end of day balance then now is $13,700. So we want to calculate how much is that $13,700 costing us. Well, that's going to be there for the next 5 days from January 10th through the 14th. Meaning, if we follow the formula, 13,000 times 9%, that number is divided by 365. We are going to get $3.38 for an average daily rate. Multiply that by 5, and it's $16.90. So from 33, now we're down to 16. Yes, it's a definite drop. Not that much interest at all right now as the month is growing right along. However, the 15 comes by, and now we have additional expenses, right? 4 or 5 days it stayed at 13,700. Now we have more expenses. We have to buy gas for the car, the kids' tuition. Now we're up to 13,950. Again, we can see the pattern. Money's going in, money's coming out for expenses. That balance stayed there from the 15th to the 18th, which is 4 days. We calculate the same formula. Over the 4 days, $3.44 is the per day calculation of the interest for the next 4 days. $13.76. I look at that and I see the drop in interest rates. So that's fantastic because the interest rate is actually going down as the balance is going down. And yes, think about what you spend $13.76 on. I have a large family. If I go to McDonald's, that's going to feed like 2 of us. So $13.76 is not a lot of interest because, again, the money is being put in the right tool. So let's move right along. We know that that was the interest on that day. On January 19th, there was an additional day-to-day expenses, offering household essentials, cosmetics, eating out, which is another $200 in expenses, bringing the total to $14,150. That's the end of the day balance for that day. Now, the question becomes again, how long is that $14,150 going to be there? It's going to be there from the 19th to the 23rd, which is 5 days. We calculate that, and we can see that 5 days calculated at that new balance with that interest is $3.49, bringing the total interest for those 5 days to $17.45. Now, here's the big kicker. On January 24th, there is another income. So when we use lines of credit, our income is our payment. Our payment is $1,800, right? Because that's our income. We're deducting that from the $14,150. And then we're also including the new expenses for that time period, which is more gas for the car insurance, and car payments. That new expense is $540, which then gets added to the balance that was, or rather the amount that was deducted. So that brings the new end of day balance to $12,890. And that is going to be there for the rest of the month. So from January 24th to the 31st, that's 8 days that balance was there. We follow the formula so that we can calculate what that interest would be. It's $3.18 per day or $25.44, which now the nice thing about that, we know that when we're calculating this strategy, that if the balance stays at $15,000 at that interest rate of 9% for the 31 days, the total cost of interest would be $114.70. But because throughout the course of the month, right, we are making income payments, right? Let's call it income as well as a payment. It's impacting the balance of the 15,000. Every time we do so, that interest rate is dropping, going up a little, dropping, going up a little. Look at the total of interest that was paid. $106.85 is the total interest. That's almost $10 less than what we started with. So that's win number one. Win number two, what else is happening, right? We start the month off with 15,000. We create cash flow. We eliminate all her credit card debt. And then look what happens. We started at 15,000 and we end the month at a balance of $12,890 in that line of credit. That's another win. That's over $2,100 additionally that were deducted, right? That impacted that $15,000 and is speeding up the process by which she paid off credit. In about maybe 6 months, she will completely pay off this $12,890. It's going to rinse and repeat. The month of February, she's going to do the same thing. The month of March, she's going to do the same thing. And before you know it, she's completely paid off that $12,980. She will never pay more than $114.70 because each one she starts, she has a lower starting point when it comes to credit. So this is how you can win. This is how you pay off your debt. This is how you take control over your finances and stop giving your control to the banks and other institutions of your finances. You can do this. This is possible. I've seen it myself personally, and that's why I want to declare it to the world that this is the way that you can pay off your debt more quickly and efficiently. So I hope this example is clear to you. It makes a lot of sense when you follow the formula, and calculate the numbers, and the numbers never lie. So again, I hope this video is useful to you. If it is so, please comment and share. I read all the comments and I try to respond in a timely fashion. I want you to continue to subscribe, like, and share this video. And there will be a couple of more videos around this particular topic, all about line of credit. And I hope that this is going to be the year that is going to be the best year for you financially. If you need help, any questions in regards to this, my contact information is below. Be more than happy to help you out, get you on the path to financial freedom. So with that, thank you very much for your time, and to the next video, have a great day.